Salam and welcome to part number 183 in this fabulous book. Muhammad Sal'lal'laa'hu wasallam, is life based on the earliest sources, and we are busy with chapter number 59, which is the trench, and it's part number 183. So as we mentioned in the previous episode, the Prophet ﷺ got news that Mecca is on the way with 10,000 soldiers, and part of their heavy contingent, their key, their ace up their sleeve, is to have a very powerful force of cavalry, that means horses, because they knew that at the Battle of Uhud, it was the horses, led by Khalid bin Walid. There was 200 horses who found the gap when the archers went, and they say the horses won the day. So now they say we're going to come with even more horses. So now the entire army is coming, 10,000 with a lot of horses. And in that, Salman al-Farsi gave the fabulous suggestion of, Ya Nabi, the only way to keep horses out of Medina is to dig a trench. Let's take the story further from here. Time was short, and all efforts would have to be strained to the utmost if no dangerous gap was to be left in the defenses. But the trench did not need to be continuous. At many places, a long stretch of fortress-like houses at the edge of the city was adequate protection, and to the northwest there were some masses of rock which in themselves were impregnable, and they merely needed to be connected to each other. The nearest of these, known as Mount Sal, was to be brought within the entrenchments, for the ground in front of it was an excellent site for the camp. The trench itself would bound the camp to the north in a wide sweep from one of the rocky eminences to a point on the eastern wall of the town. This was to be the longest single stretch of trench and also the most important. As well as being the originator of the strategy and giving the solution to the trench, Salman al-Farsi knew exactly how wide the trench must be, how deep it must be, where it must be dug, and all the mathematical and geological features regarding the trench as part of the military strategy. And having worked with Banu Qurayza, he knew that they possessed. So Banu Qurayza was still friendly, right? They were still friendly. So the Muslims went to the Banu Qurayza. They had all the digging implements, and it's right. We are part of Medina, and you all must help. And in this stage, at the early stage of the Battle of the Trench, the Banu Qurayza kept to the constitution of Medina, and they helped Salman al-Farsi with the equipment that they needed with digging the trench. So nor were they averse to lending them in the face of the common danger. So they kept the constitution to say, you know what, Medina is now under common danger from 10,000 people and we need to help. For although the Banu Qurayza, the Jews within Medina, did not have any love for the Prophet ﷺ, the majority of opinion amongst them had been that their pact with him, the constitution of Medina, was a political advantage that should not be thrown away. So mattocks, pickaxes, and shovels were borrowed from them. They also supplied date baskets, which they were strongly woven of palm fiber and could also be used for carrying the earth out of the trench. The Prophet ﷺ made each section of his community responsible for a part of the trench, and he himself worked with them. And let's just look at this, what the trench looks like. All right, so let's just get our orientation sorted out. This is the trench itself. This is Medina itself. Now remember, Medina is in the north. Here at the bottom in the south is Mecca. So Mecca is here at the bottom, right? So Mecca is here. If you go north, you come to Medina. And to get our orientation right, this side here is west. This side is west. This side is east. This side is east. This green part is south. And the blue part is north, right? So we got our orientation sorted out very simply, right? Now, Medina is generally protected from three sides. The army, 10,000, must remember it's 10,000 horses, camels, heavy equipment, ammunition, spears, weaponry, body armor, steel for the humans, steel for the animals, food, and so it's heavy loads. So if there's 10,000 soldiers, it means there'll be 20,000 camels, because 10,000 just for the soldiers. Then you got the horses. Then you need 10,000 additional animals just to carry all the loads, for the food, the tents, because each soldier needs a tent. So you need all the loads, you need the food, you need the pots and pans and the swords and the armaments and the spears and the arrows, food for the animals, water. So it's like a huge army. So 20, 30,000, huge army coming forwards. For that you need food. Now that army You cannot just go anywhere. So this army will find it difficult to come from the south, because in the south, where the green area is, those are the orchards of the people of Medina, the agricultural land, the palm trees, the farmland, very damp ground and very full of orchards and trees. An army cannot enter Medina from the south. So Medina is safe from the south. Then on the western side of Medina, this black area is volcano, and on the east, this black area is volcano. This is volcanic rock, very sharp, very slippery. So a horse cannot climb. The horse will slip and fall. Camels cannot climb this. The camels, their feet will be cut at the bottom. So the Medina is protected from the west, Medina is protected from the east, Medina is protected from the south. So when the 10,000 people are coming from here, they're coming from Makkah, they're coming. It took them 2 weeks to come. Coming. They went along the Red Sea coast. They came along the Red Sea, because the Red Sea is over here. They came round until they came here on top. They're sitting at the north of Medina. So they were sitting here on top, and mountain of Uhud is further up, right? That is the battle of Uhud. So they were sitting here on top of the north. So here we have the Quraysh as the 3,000, Ghatafan another 3,000, and the other 3,000 or 4,000 was made up of the tribes of Sulaim, Kinana, Asad, Murrah, and Shurja. So in total there were 10,000 people facing Medina. This entire blue area is the trench. So Salman al-Farsi said, "Ya Nabi, the only way we can defend the city of Medina, let's dig a big trench." So they dug a trench from west to east, and the Masjid Nabawi was headquarters, and close to on the east side, there was a little bit of a hill. There was another camp which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam set there. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was between Masjid Nabawi and on the hill known as the Hill of Sal, where he put another tent, where it was like an observation tower, where you could observe all these 10,000, this entire army. You could see them at a glance. And this is absolutely baffling for Khalid bin Walid, because once again, same at the battle of, do I have the battle of Uhud? At the battle of Uhud, the two main cavalry forces, at that stage, this is the battle of Uhud, remember? When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was at the battle of Uhud, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was here, the Ansar and Muhajirin were here, the archers were over here. And Abu Sufyan was in charge of the front side, but Ikrama was in charge of the cavalry, and Khalid bin Walid was in charge of the cavalry. So Ikrama and Khalid bin Walid are in charge of the horses. So once again here in the Battle of the Trench, once again in front here where the Quraysh are, Khalid bin Walid and Ikrama were in charge of the horses. They said, look, we are the wings. We're going to come with our fast cavalry. So when Khalid bin Walid and Ikrama came, they came galloping, or the horses came galloping. They had to stop. Like a Ferrari is going 400 kilometers an hour. All of a sudden, you get a big pothole in the ground. You say, what is going on? So Khalid bin Walid and Ikrama were very cross. They say, what is this? They found a hole in the ground. Now imagine you telling the people at the back, the whole entire army is coming. And meanwhile, you tell the entire army to stop. They say, what's going on? What's wrong with Khalid? He stopped again. Khalid said there's a hole in the ground. Now, the Arabs are only familiar with two holes. You either dig a hole in the ground for a well, looking for water, or you dig a hole in the ground to bury someone. There's only two types of holes that the Arabs were familiar with. The Arabs never saw a hole in the ground called a trench. They did not know. No, Khalid was very cross. So he called all them. Because the chiefs are saying, what's wrong with Khalid? Why did he stop the army? And Khalid said, there's a hole in the ground. He said, there's a hole. Jump over the hole. What's a big deal about a hole? Because the chiefs, they never knew there was a trench. They thought if there's a small hole, a pothole, tell Khalid to jump over the hole. What is he stopping the whole army for? So they called all the chiefs of all the tribes. They say, come here. Khalid called them and said, look at this hole. And they're all just standing and look at this hole. They got a shock of their life. They have never seen a trench in their life. And now Khalid bin Walid is confused. Now you must remember, Khalid bin Walid is a very intelligent person. And this is one of the things that turned his heart towards Islam. Khalid bin Walid, remember, he was the super general of Mecca. He was the top 5-star general of Mecca. There's no one could touch, no one could come close to him. That's why when there was a battle of Badr, Khalid went for a holiday. When he saw that the chiefs of all the tribes were coming, 1,000 people against 300 of the Muslims, he said, this is a walkover. It's very easy. It's very easy. It's like you're saying, you got to say you've got a top league in the world. Say a soccer competition, say Liverpool or Manchester United against, say, South Africa or against Mauritius, right? Or against Kenya. You will say, Liverpool, the top league in the world, they will easily beat South Africa or Kenya or Mauritius, very easily. So I won't even go to the match. Liverpool will win. So when Liverpool did not win, when the Muslims lost, at least when the Quraysh lost at the Battle of Badr, Khalid bin Walid got a shock of his life because he went for holiday. He said, you'll score the goals, there's no problem. He got a shock of his life. So firstly, he got a shock of his life at Badr. Secondly, he then came at the Battle of Uhud. Once again, he got a shock at the strategic thinking of Nabi Sallallahu used the pincer maneuver. Khalid bin Walid couldn't move left or right. It was just fortuitous that the archers came down. If the archers did not come down, Khalid bin Walid was neutralized. And Khalid bin Walid knew that. He said, I couldn't move left or right. Even though I had all my horses, I couldn't move. Now at the Battle of the Trench, Khalid bin Walid said, again I'm neutralized. He said, now we come with 10,000 people and with so many horses, nearly 1,000 horses, and we can't move a finger. So Khalid bin Walid was thinking. He was thinking until eventually it was a battle when it came to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. And once again, Khalid bin Walid was waiting on the main road. He said, I'm going to catch Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi took a sight and was gone already on the outskirts of Mecca. Khalid bin Walid said, no, this guy is under divine protection and he's got super intelligence. He's more intelligent than me as a military general. And so on, and then he became a Muslim. So this is one of the fabulous ways in which Khalid bin Walid became a Muslim because he was absolutely baffled. The Arabs had never seen a trench in their life. And this trench, this magnificent suggestion of Salman al-Farsi to say, in Persia, Ya Nabi, in Persia, this is what we do. So this, it tells you the hallmark of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a magnificent leader. It shows his humility, his magnificent charm, his ability to understand his people, and his willingness to listen to suggestions. We know so many leaders or managers in a company or business CEOs, who get a little bit of success, they become arrogant. They say, I am so and so, it must be done my way or go fly or the highway, my way or highway. This is the way it must be done. They don't listen to suggestions. They are autocratic. They are dictators. They make everybody's life a misery, and everybody knows that they're doing the wrong decision. But eventually what happens? Even their team around them just say, yes, whatever you say, we listen to. Yes, very good suggestion. Very good. But the back they say, oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, you're the boss. You're the boss. But now for the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, those are autocratic, arrogant people. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was a marvelous, humble leader. And that is why the people loved him. And he was open to suggestions. He used to say, talk to me. Tell me your suggestion. And they used to talk to him. They said, Ya Nabi, what about this? What about this? Like famously the Battle of Badr. They asked him, Ya Nabi, are we stopping here? Is this a wahi? Is this a revelation? Or is this part of a strategy? And he said, no, this is part of a strategy. He said, no, Nabi, let's not stop here. Let's go further so we can get all the wells under our control. Nabi said, perfect. I like that idea. Let's go with it. Now here again, once again at the Battle of the Trench, an army of 10,000 is coming. Once again, Nabi said, right, I need your opinion. Look at it. I need your opinion. They were not scared. They're not saying, how can we talk to him? No, shh, keep quiet. What if we're wrong? What if we're wrong? We can make a mistake. Then it's our fault. No. They say, Ya Nabi, what about a trench? We dig. The horses can't jump over it. It's so deep, like about 2 meters deep or 3 meters deep. The horse falls in there. The horse can't come out. And it's so wide that a horse can't jump over it. Right? So Salman al-Farsi knew the dimensions. I don't know the exact dimensions here, but it is something where a horse cannot jump over that hole, and if the horse goes into that hole, that horse is not going to come out. If the horse goes into that hole, the Muslims are standing there with the arrows. They're going to hit the horse, and they're going to hit that soldier as well. So the people are scared. And especially the horses come, they should stop at the hole. The horses never saw a hole like that. And the horses, they're very skittish. The horses also love their life, They don't want to just jump into a hole, but so the Muslims were standing with the arrows and with the spears, the lances. So now it was a stalemate. So Khalid bin Walid said, wow. So this shows the amazing leadership qualities of the most magnificent man that set foot on earth. So we need to learn from the marvelous example. And that is what the Quran says. He is on an exalted standard of character. The character he's got, the manners, the akhlaq, the leadership of the qualities of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Absolutely fantastic, fabulous. and we need to learn from that. We can never ever attain that status. We can never attain the status of the Sahaba. We can never attain the status of the awliya. But in our own little way, must do ihsan, must try and be quality human beings, try and be a little bit better in everything that we do. And we learn from Nabi Sallallahu. And the same example stays at home. If you've got a decision to make at home, if you're the man of the house, the woman of the house, talk around the supper table. Don't say, do it my way. This is the way I want it in my house, no other way. No, say, let's talk. Yes, sometimes you have arguments. We're all human beings. You have an argument. But have an open discussion. Let people throw your opinions on the table. In that we can learn from something. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, perhaps you dislike something, but maybe it's good for you. Allah knows, you don't know. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.